All right, let's be real. Have you ever been in that moment? You call your dog's name and you get absolutely nothing. Maybe a blank stare. Maybe they just, look the other way. It is so frustrating, and our first instinct is to slap that stubborn label on them. But what if that label, that one little word, is actually the thing that's holding us back from figuring out what's really happening? Yeah, let's dig into that.
So this is the big question, isn't it? Is my dog being stubborn, or am I just missing something? And honestly, once you really start to chew on that question, everything can change. We're going to peel back the layers and see what's going on under the hood when it feels like your dog is just tuning you out.
Oh, you know that feeling. You're at the park, you call your dog, and crickets. The embarrassment is real. You're standing there thinking, buddy, you know exactly what come means. You are making a conscious choice to humiliate me right now. It feels so personal, right? Like they're doing it on purpose? But that's us putting our human brains on a very different canine way of thinking.
Okay, but here's the game changer. What if it's not rebellion at all? What if what looks like stubbornness is actually communication? Your dog isn't trying to be a jerk or stage a coup. They might actually be trying to tell you something really important, like, hey, I'm scared, or I'm super confused right now. It's not defiance, it's a signal, a really important one.
So this really breaks it down into two totally different lanes. You've got emotion and you've got motivation, and they are not the same thing. Think about it. A fearful dog, their brain is basically in panic mode. They literally can't process your sit command because their survival instincts have taken over. Then you have the other dog. They're totally calm, but they've done the math and realized, sniffing this very interesting spot is way more rewarding than whatever my human has to offer right now.
Yeah, so let's just throw the word stubborn out the window for a minute and use a better one. Learned non-compliance. It sounds kind of technical, but it's simple. Your dog is a genius at one thing, figuring out what works. If ignoring you means they get 5 more minutes sniffing around at the park, well, in their world, that's a huge win. It's not a character flaw, it's just them being logical little creatures. It's a training puzzle, not a personality problem.
Okay, so the big question is, how on earth do you tell the difference when it's happening? Well, it all comes down to becoming an expert in their language. It's time to put on our dog detective hats.
I mean, think about it. Dogs are talking to us all the time. Every little ear flick, tail twitch, the way they hold their body, it's all information. They're masters at reading us, so the real key to leveling up our relationship is to get just as good at reading them.
All right, this chart right here, this is your decoder ring. You're not looking for just one thing, but a whole cluster of signals. So for a fearful dog, think small and tense. They're trying to disappear. You get that classic whale eye. You see the whites of their eyes, their ears are pinned back, tail tucked. It's a whole picture of I'm not okay. But the so-called stubborn dog, totally different vibe. Their body is loose, maybe even wiggly. Their eyes are soft. The tail is just hanging out, maybe wagging. It's the difference between a dog screaming, I can't do this, and one asking, yeah, but why should I?
So does the situation matter? Oh my gosh, does it ever? Context is everything. Where you are, what's going on around you. It's not just background noise. It's a massive piece of the puzzle.
This is the perfect example, right? Your dog is an obedience champion in the living room. Perfect sits, perfect stays, but then you get to the vet or even just a busy street and suddenly it's like they've never been trained a day in their life. That's not them being difficult. That's their brain being completely overwhelmed by the environment. Their thinking, rational brain just logs off.
Okay, so we've got the why down. We know how to spot the difference. Now for the fun part. What do we do about it? Let's open up the positive training toolkit.
And this is so important. You're basically at a fork in the road here, and you can't take the same path for both problems. If your dog is afraid, your number one job is to become their safe harbor. But if your dog is just unmotivated, your job is to become the most exciting thing in the world. Two totally different goals.
For a dog who's scared, you're not training a behavior, you're healing an emotion. And that means patience, patience, and more patience. Your whole goal is to slowly, gently create good vibes around the things that freak them out. And please hear this. Punishment is the absolute worst thing you can do. All it does is prove them right, that the world is a terrifying place to be.
Now, for our little unmotivated genius, it's all a game of what's the better deal? You've got to ask yourself, am I more interesting than that squirrel? Hint, your boring old kibble is probably not going to win that fight. You got to break out the good stuff. We're talking tiny bits of cheese, chicken, the high-value stuff. Turn training into a party. Be super consistent with your rules and start easy. Don't try to compete with the dog park on day one.
And the secret ingredient for both of these approaches? It's positive reinforcement. Super simple idea, but it's incredibly powerful. You just pay your dog for the things you like. When they do something awesome, whether it's taking one brave step forward or coming when you call, you reward it. That's how you build a dog who wants to work with you.
And this quote from Pat Miller just says it all, doesn't it? Train with your brain, not pain. It's not about being bigger or stronger. It's about being smarter. It's about figuring out the puzzle of your dog's mind so they choose to be your partner willingly and happily.
So once you drop the label and just start watching, everything changes. Your whole relationship shifts. And this is where it gets really good. You move past just getting them to do stuff and into a place of real connection.
Honestly, if you take away just one thing from all of this, let it be this shift in perspective. You stop asking, "Why won't you listen to me?" And you start asking, "Hey, what's going on in there? What are you experiencing?" In that 1 second, you go from being a drill sergeant to being their teammate. It changes everything.
And the result? It's huge. Because when your dog feels like you actually get them, when they feel understood instead of just corrected all the time, all that frustration just melts away. The fights stop, and you're left with this amazing, solid bond.
And this is what we're all aiming for, right? Not some perfectly obedient robot, but a happy, confident dog who looks at you like you're the best thing since squeaky toys. A partner who genuinely, truly wants to play on your team.
So, here's my challenge to you. The very next time your dog gives you that "I can't hear you" look, just pause. Take a deep breath. Really look at them, their body, their ears, the whole picture. Think about where you are and ask yourself, what is my dog trying to tell me right now? I promise, the answer is going to be fascinating.